What's up, everyone? Aaron Zaffron here. I'm excited to be back, dropping the second installment in my AI and Lowcode Synergy series. And for those of you tuning in for the first time, a little bit about me. I am an AI specialist on Appian's solution consulting team, and I do a lot of tinkering with artificial intelligence and the Appian platform. And in doing that, I have found myself struck by the potential for synergy between these two technologies, between low code and artificial intelligence. And, it's this realization that inspired me to create this series. So I'm definitely stoked for the second episode, which is going to be all about Appian's AI skills, specifically our generative ones, and all the cool stuff that can be accomplished with them. I'm definitely looking forward to today's session because we're going to actually get into the platform. The last episode was mostly high level, but today we're going to actually dig into it, so I'm stoked for that. But before we do, just want to recap what we covered last time. We talked about enabling the AI enterprise. What does it take? And how Appian as a platform is so well positioned for truly operationalizing AI because we're able to support it with data and process, enabled by our data fabric capabilities and our process automation capabilities. And I may do a deep dive on those two parts of the platform in later sessions because, there are a lot of platforms out there that say they do that kind of data connectivity or process automation, but the reality of the situation is that Appian does these things the best in the low code space. So we'll definitely get into that in the future. But we also talked about how this works exactly, how we're able to drop nodes of AI functionality directly into workflows so you can inject that capability exactly where you need it. And this is where we're going to pick up with today's session. We're going to learn exactly what these nodes are, how they work, and we're going to see some examples of them in action. So let's get into that. But first, what is an AI skill exactly anyway? As discussed, these are nodes. They're functional nodes. They drop into the flow of your processes, but we're wrapping AI functionality and making it easy to integrate with the other activities taking place in your process. I think the obvious question here is, what can you actually do with them? And today, we're going to focus on the generative use cases for AI skills. Generative AI skills are all about large language models. As you can see, we have 12 of them here. They are configured to easily handle some of the most common functional scenarios that apply to large language models. So generating content, classifying content, summarizing it, various forms of extraction. This can happen with text. It can happen with images, documents. And we have also a general purpose prompt builder that you can see in the upper left. And this allows us to customize large language model behavior. So pretty much anything that you can do with a large language model, you can ask it to do here, which provides all kinds of flexibility. And just to talk about this a little bit more, the beauty of this being part of an Appian workflow is how easily it allows you to achieve advanced concepts, like chaining AI skills together for multi-step prompting, or pulling information from data sources in your data fabric to achieve retrieval augmented generation, or, doing human-in-the-loop paradigms for escalations when the AI needs some help. But enough talk. Rather than spending any more time hanging out in the slides, I want to actually take a look at some real AI skills in action. Today, what we're going to see is a few different prompt builders actually in use in a real application in the platform. So let's go ahead and get into that demo. Alright, so we're on the first screen of our demo here, and essentially what we're doing is working in an investigative context. This is a correspondence inbox in which our caseworkers need to convert basically all the messages that are coming in into these downstream work products to do their due diligence. We're calling those inquiries. So, the application is basically meant to illustrate how this basically very manual paradigm can be enhanced with AI to streamline the process using Appian. Now, we're about to actually show this in action, but before we get into that, I want to show you a prompt builder that illustrates what's going on behind the scenes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually grab this text from this screen and go to the adjacent tab. And so what we're looking at here is a prompt builder. It's simple to set up. Right here, I'm defining my prompt, and in this case, my prompt is set up to extract names, dates, physical evidence, locations, and potential offenses from the text. So we've got that set up. And then we're going to set our creativity level with the temperature, and then we can provide some examples. And Appian will allow us to have inputs and outputs and essentially take those and do the prompt engineering behind the scenes to set the prompt up properly. And then finally, over here on the right, we can do a test. We can paste in that text, and we can see that what we're going to get over here is machine readable output that can be used downstream in the process with all the names and the offenses, etc. in there. Now, this prompt builder right here, it's a bit of an oversimplification because in reality, in this application, this is a multi-step extraction process. So the results are going to be slightly different when we look at the actual application because it's doing it over a number of steps. But that's one of the powerful things about Appian is that we can orchestrate that multi-step workflow with ease. But with that, let's go ahead and see how it plays out in the actual application. So I'm going to go ahead and go back over to the application. And so we're looking at this message, and we can go up to Actions and hit Process. And so now we are brought to a view that's going to guide our user through creating this downstream work product. And so we can see over here on the left the message that it was coming in, to process, but this could be anything. It could be a form, it could be a chat transcript. We have customers that use this kind of extraction for processing reports, medical claims, certificates. It could be even, inbound comments from an external constituent. It could be applied broadly. But the point is, we're able to quickly extract these details and make them actually actionable. So, right out of the gate, we're able to find cases that have the subject names that it finds right here, and we're able to automatically do those searches because the AI is able to capture the names automatically and create distinct elements out of them. I can also go ahead and build my case out using these as objects. So I can grab a couple subjects, I could grab a date, drop that into one of these fields right over here. I can grab an offense. I can grab some evidence. And so, I don't have to type these in. I don't have to hunt for them. And now they're actually objects that are getting added to my case. And then similarly, say I want to build out my notes. I could just type some notes manually, but I could also go over here and use the chat mode and ask it a question. So I could say, what took place during the meeting? Right? And we'll go ahead and ask that question. And behind the scenes, this is another prompt builder that is going to provide me a well-formed answer, looking at what it knows about the case, looking at what it has about this correspondence, and then provides an answer to me over here in my case notes, which I can drop right in. And then I can use AI again to format it for me and, put it in a particular key points format, which makes it very well formed to drop directly into the notes of my case. So, these are the kinds of things, saving time, avoiding typos. They seem like they could be a small time savings when you do it a single time, but over the course of 1,000 cases, this sort of thing really adds up. And this has taken us from a highly manual process of hunting for the right case, doing manual searches, sifting through the message to find key details, doing manual error-prone data entry, writing notes from scratch, to this AI-enabled flow that maximizes the efficiency of the caseworker. All right, well, that's about it for our second episode. This video has already ended up longer than I would have intended it to be, so we're going to stop there. There's always so much that I want to say in these, so it's kind of difficult to keep them as condensed as I'd like, but I still left a lot out today, so that just means we've got a lot to cover in future videos. So stay tuned for the next one. I want to thank you for tuning in today. As always, if you've got any questions about Appian or you just want to nerd out, hit me up. I'm always down to chat. But that's it for me. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.